Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. Hope you enjoy. Boldly Going, written by Saxophone Yeti. Captain, I must object. As I told you the last 6 times, Beth, your objection has been firmly noted in my log. Federal regulations clearly state. Captain Dawn Washington abruptly stopped and turned to face her exo. I'm familiar with the rules, Commander. Article 12, Section 4, governing conduct for flag officers. The commanding officer of a federal vessel shall not depart their vessel without explicit consent of the Admiralty in times of war or crisis. Unless I am mistaken, Beth, we are not at war. She turned back, walking briskly down the hallway once again. The commander, startled, jogged for a moment to catch up. No, sir. But with the ship this close to the Imperial neutral zone, Beth, you read the scans. This could be an archaeological find of the generation. An intact trove of Draxian artifacts. We're talking about prehistoric empire, 50 millennia of galactic dominance, all vanished in an instant. We studied the tablets at the Academy, but no one has been able to recover anything from the era beyond a few pieces of art. Yet here we are, in orbit of a planet thrown far from its present star, with fully intact buildings, entire cities, matching the time period consistent with high Draxian civilization. All alone, deep space. It's a miracle we found the planet at all. And if it's a trap, the Imperials have been known to set elaborate ruses to get their hands on federal tech, such as the Omnicron Delta 4, I recall. But there are no signs of life, no ships in orbit, not even a single unusual tachyon mission in 10 light years. I'm going down there. Then you have the Captain, Commander Beth. The captain put her hand on the commander's shoulder. You're going to be fine. Nothing is going to happen to me. Nothing is going to happen to the ship. Nothing is going to happen at all. And if it does, you're more than capable of handling a crisis. Believe in yourself. Dawn clapped her exo on the arm and looked at her solemnly in the eyes. I do. Beth sighed. Yes, sir. Will you at least take a full security complement? I have my team. Jefford is more than capable with a sidearm. And besides, nothing alive has stepped foot on that planet in 100,000 years. That's precisely what I'm afraid of, Captain. But it's your prerogative, sir. And it seems like there's nothing I can do to talk you out of it. Captain Washington smiled and put a hand on the door pad. As an airlock hissed open, 5 individuals standing on the other side snapped to attention. At ease. The captain nodded at Beth, and the commander stepped forward. Team, your mission is to find a suitable landing zone for the hopper, establish a defensive perimeter, and ensure the safety of the captain. Beth caught a glare from the Captain Washington, and, of course, to locate any objects or locations of significant archaeological importance to be examined, studied, and possibly extracted for further review. The glare softened. You could find anything down there, she continued, so stay vigilant, load up, and move out. As the team entered the hopper, final flight checks complete, go for departure, the captain sat down in her seat. Thoughts of history classes at the Academy ran through her head, and her imagination began to wonder. What incredible pieces of historical relevance might they find down there? New works of art, an intact domicile, written stories, or perhaps even a historical compendium. She smiled, before a sharp interruption broke her trance. Captain, you're going to want to look at this. Beth jumped forward, leaning over her pilot's massive systems display. What is it, Vasquez? I'm not entirely sure, sir. Scanners are showing a massive structure, partially buried, but ground-penetrating sensors seem to indicate that wall and roof integrity is fully intact. It's not collapsed, just hollow. It's, huge. Well, Vasquez, you have my attention. Take us down as close as you can get. The captain sat down, barely disguising her glee. As the hopper landed, the captain was the first one out the door. Over Jefford's objection, the hopper had come down in a clearing, maybe 100 meters wide, between the city proper and the structure itself. In front of them was a massive building, multiple kilometers across, shaped like a hemisphere embedded into the planet's surface. It stood hundreds of meters high, far taller than any of the buildings in the city, and the entryway alone was cavernous. I think our next step is clear, Washington addressed her team. Grab your gear, we're going inside. Once they were fully equipped, the team began their journey into the bowels of the massive structure. The walls weren't metal, at least, not any kind that was recognizable. Light seemed to dance along the interior surface like ripples on a disturbed puddle. The effect deepened as they began to descend further underground. "All right, Vasquez, report. Where are we? What is this place? I'm open to any theories."
"Well, sir, it's obviously quite large and significant based on its prominence in the city. Perhaps some kind of community gathering place, like a stadium or assembly hall."
"Not a bad theory, Vasquez. Makes sense, considering the size of the entryway. Jeffords?" "I think that it must be a place for storage of important objects, like what the Svalbard Institute vault was back on Earth. This entryway could easily accommodate vehicles loading and unloading." "Interesting thought, both of you. Keep an eye out for any more signs of purpose. Xendo Danowix, head on swivel for some kind of security system. Lau? Lau?" The captain turned around, seeing Lau distracted by some sort of terminal a few dozen meters back. "Lau!"
"Captain, come take a look at this."
Lau pointed his flashlight at the terminal, and the technicolor ribbons that danced across the wall seemed to coalesce on the terminal's inputs, which had begun to pulsate. Cautiously, the captain reached forward and pressed the largest input. The structure shuddered, and the ground beneath the team shook for a moment before beginning to descend. "Is everyone all right?" The team looked around. No one seemed injured, although Vasquez had fallen in the commotion. The platform, roughly 10 meters across, was descending into the ground like a roof, and wall-less elevator descending into its shaft. Before anyone could fully get their bearings, however, the walls had disappeared. Or, more accurately, the elevator had descended through the shaft and into the largest room the captain had ever seen. Her ship, the pride of the Federal Navy, could comfortably fit inside at least 3 times over. Like the building itself, the room was shaped like a massive hemisphere. The elevator platform was floating downwards, but had easily another kilometer to go before landing on the floor. The lights that swam on the walls and the entryway came to life all over the chamber, dancing like an aurora, reacting to the first life forms to enter this hall in countless lifetimes. At the center of the bottom of the chamber was a dais, perhaps 100 meters tall. As the light and colors rebounded around the wall, they grew more and more intense until the dais was glowing brighter than anything else in the room. From the top of the dais, a brilliant white light rose upwards, unfurling into an alien creature, hundreds of meters tall. It turned to face the group of humans on their floating platform. "I am Draxus, guardian of that which was. Who are you?" Captain Washington stepped forward towards the edge of the platform. "I am Dawn Washington, captain of the human Federal Navy vessel Aeolus." "Human? You are of Earth." The walls began to glow intensely once again for a moment, but they settled as quickly as they had started. "The movement of the stars tells me it has been a very long time since I was last awoken. Hear well and mark me. Why are you here?" "We entered this place looking for knowledge. Your people are long gone to us, and we wish to know more of your kind." The holographic creature almost seemed to smile. "I believe I may be able to assist you. I was an advisor to the Grand Council once, and as such I hold the historical records of Draxia in my databanks." "Advisor, Grand Council Draxus, what is this place?" "Captain Dawn Washington, we are in the Grand Council chambers, the capital hall of my people. This planet, of course, is Draxia Prime." The captain stepped back for a moment to collect her thoughts. After a deep breath, she turned to Vasquez. "Vasquez, get me in contact with the commander. Tell her to appraise Federal Command of our status, and to request, every history professor and grad student in this side of the Revielera cluster. Until then," she turned back to Draxus, no longer suppressing her excitement, "I think we have a lot to discuss." End of story. I would quickly like to thank the Tier 5 members, Marky, Cam Maxwell, Caspar Arnolds, Oakfield, Lord Azrakul, and it's difficult to pronounce. Thank you very much.